I had thought my life on Terra Station 47 would continue in its quiet monotony. Days filled with mechanical repairs, nights filled with the hum of engines and flickering neon lights. But that all changed when a royal summons arrived, a message encrypted in a frequency only certain species could detect. The sender, the alien queen of the Eryndari Empire, a civilization whose very name struck fear into the galaxy's mightiest. Her message was curt. Appear before me. You are required. Required. The word alone made my stomach twist. I had no prior dealings with her species, or anyone of her status. Yet the frequency of the message carried authority that bypassed reason. Against my better judgment, I boarded the shuttle bound for Eryndari Prime, a planet of jagged mountains and crystalline skies, glowing in hues of emerald and violet. When I stepped into the throne chamber, I expected an austere ruler, cold and calculating. Instead, I saw her, Queen Lythera, seated on a throne carved from living crystal, her skin shimmering like molten silver under the light of the twin suns. Her eyes, a deep violet, fixed on me like twin supernovas. I don't like you, she said flatly. No warmth. No curiosity. Only the sharp edge of dismissal. I swallowed hard. I'm honored to meet you, Your Majesty. Her lips pressed into a thin line. Then be brief. I have little patience for humans. Yet, as she spoke, I noticed a subtle shift, an almost imperceptible flush across her cheeks, a warmth in her otherwise icy gaze. My heart skipped. Was it possible? Could the Queen of the Eryndari, the galaxy's most feared monarch, be feeling something? Trials of the heart and mind. Her dismissal did not end there. Lythera subjected me to a series of challenges, tests of intellect, agility, and diplomacy, all designed to prove I was unworthy of her attention. The first trial was in the Hall of Mirrors, where illusions twisted reality. Each reflection distorted not only my image, but also my memories, forcing me to confront regrets, fears, and hidden desires. I faltered more than once, only to hear her sharp voice slicing through the illusions. Pathetic. Humans are fragile. And yet, every time I recovered, every time I proved my resolve, I saw it again. The blush, fleeting but undeniable, across her face. A contradiction. A crack in the armor of the galaxy's most formidable ruler. Next came the arena of minds, a simulation where I negotiated peace between warring alien factions. Every word, every decision was scrutinized by Lythera herself. Her violet eyes bore into me, analyzing, judging, almost hoping. The more I succeeded, the more her composure wavered. She called me stubborn, reckless, foolish, but the blush never fully disappeared. Finally, she demanded I accompany her to the Sky Spire, the tallest crystalline structure in Eryndari Prime, said to channel the planet's psychic energy. The journey was perilous, and I was certain I would fail. Yet, as we navigated the precarious bridges and windswept towers, she stayed close. Close enough that I could feel the warmth emanating from her, despite her protestations. At the summit, she turned to me, her voice soft, almost hesitant. I do not like humans. I do not like you. But then, her eyes flickered, her cheeks tinged with the same impossible blush. Then why does my body betray me? She whispered. I stepped closer, unsure if I was trespassing, yet compelled. Perhaps some feelings cannot be hidden, even by a queen. She averted her gaze, but I caught the smallest smile tugging at the corner of her lips. The imperceptible blush now a beacon, guiding me through the storm of her pride and authority. Middle continued, the Galactic conspiracy. The personal trials soon intersected with a galactic crisis. A faction within her council had plotted to overthrow her, exploiting her rumored soft spot for a human. The whispers of conspiracy reached my ears, and I realized the stakes were no longer personal. They were planetary. Lythera and I were ambushed in the Crystal Gardens, an oasis suspended in midair. Elite Eryndari assassins struck from all sides. I had no weapons, no training in their combat forms, but instinct, adrenaline, and sheer human stubbornness carried me through. I shielded her from an energy blade, and in that moment, her blush deepened. Not from fear, but from gratitude? Admiration? The lines between ruler and subject, queen and human, blurred. After the ambush, in the solitude of her private chambers, she finally spoke without the veneer of authority. "You should not have survived." "I didn't, did I?" I asked, heart racing. Her laugh was soft, musical, almost alien in its rhythm. "Against all reason you did. And yet, I cannot bring myself to scold you fully." Her gaze met mine, and I realized the truth. She liked me, whether she admitted it or not. And the blush, persistent, undeniable, was proof. Climax, confession among the stars. Weeks passed. Trials, conspiracies, and shared danger forged a bond neither of us could deny. I had learned her language, not just the words, but the unspoken cues, the subtle shifts in tone and gesture. I had grown to understand her, and she me. One night, beneath the twin moons and a sky littered with distant suns, I dared to speak. "You know, Your Majesty, your blush betrays you," I said gently, smiling. Lythera's eyes widened, a rare break in her composure. "You insolent human," she whispered, her tone laced with both exasperation and something softer. "I mean it," I continued. "You say you don't like me, but your body says otherwise. Even the cosmos seems to notice." Her blush deepened, spreading from her cheeks to the tips of her ears. She averted her gaze, then returned it, vulnerability shining in her violet eyes. "Perhaps, I do not wish to admit it, but yes, you have changed something within me." And there it was, the confession neither of us dared voice fully, yet entirely understood. Among the alien stars, the queen who rejected me had let herself blush, revealing her feelings without surrendering her authority. Ending the balance of power and affection. Time passed, and the galaxy continued its chaotic spin, but something fundamental had shifted. Lythera remained queen, her authority unquestioned. And yet, in the quiet moments between councils, battles, and diplomacy, she allowed herself the blush, a small, intimate rebellion against her own pride. We never labeled it love, at least not openly. But in our shared glances, fleeting touches, and unspoken understanding, the bond was undeniable. I had become more than a human subject. I had become a companion, a confidant, and perhaps, in some distant future, something even greater. One evening, as the twin moons cast silver light across the throne room, she approached me, her expression unreadable. "You persist in surprising me, human, and you persist in blushing when I least expect it," I replied, a grin tugging at my lips. She looked away, hiding the flush, but I could see it. A secret acknowledgement, a spark of warmth amid centuries of cold authority. The alien queen who claimed she did not like me had shown, in the smallest, most human way, that feelings cannot be denied, even by a monarch. And for the first time, I realized the galaxy was not just a place of conquest and fear, it was also a place where hearts, even alien ones, could be reached. As we stood together, gazing at the endless stars, I knew one truth. Pride may rule the throne, but vulnerability and a single blush can conquer even the coldest heart.